Shabbat Shalom and welcome to 5 Minutes of Torah with the Beth Israel Rabbi. As you can see, I am at Camp Solomon Schechter and loving every moment of being here with the lake of camp behind me. Camp is a wonderful place in which my family has had a fabulous time. And at camp this week, we've had a very special opportunity to welcome Rabbi Blumen, who is our youth rabbi from Beth Israel, as well as Ezra Shenkin and Shelley Rifkin from Federation. And I know that Camp Solomon Schechter continues to be grateful for all of the support that they receive from not only the Federation in Vancouver, but all of the Vancouver Jewish community. Camp is a place where children have an opportunity to strengthen their Jewish identity. They have the opportunity to spend time with other Jewish children. They also have the opportunity to learn new Jewish rituals that they may not participate at home, or strengthen those rituals and their connection to the rituals that they already do participate at home. And also camp is an opportunity to ask questions and to reflect on some of the bigger questions that we have not only as Jews, but as human beings. Certainly, one of the questions that we all deal with, that we all have, is our relationship with God, our relationship with the divine, really a question of faith. And in fact, faith is one of those questions that's been at the heart of Judaism for thousands of years, and especially important in the modern era. We as Jews believe that it's important to struggle with the concept of faith, to ask questions. We don't believe that one person has the answer and we all must heed to that answer, but rather we believe that we must all question and struggle with issues of whether or not we believe in God or not. Today, I actually taught a class with a number of campers around a New York Times article that came out just yesterday about the terrible crash that happened in Mexico, in a flight that was leaving from Durango and going to Mexico City. And despite the fact that this was a terrible crash in which the plane literally fell out of the air just moments after taking off, 103 people on the flight, every single person on the flight, from the crew to also the passengers, survived. Some were critically injured, but 100% of the 103 people are alive today. The New York Times article discussed the question of whether or not this was a miracle, interviewed people who had survived, passengers, who said that they had a newfound faith and now believed in miracles even though they hadn't. This became fodder for a discussion here at camp with some campers as we were talking about Jewish perspective on faith and miracles. This coming week, we read Parshat Ekev, a Torah portion in which Moses is still in the midst of his valedictory as he is about to pass away and the Israelites are about to enter into the land of Israel. Moses wants to ensure that the Israelites have faith as they enter into the land. And so much of today's and much of this week's Parsha deals with the question of faith, and Moses trying to strengthen the Israelites' faith so that when they enter into the land of Israel and he is no longer with them, they indeed will remain strong, not only in their Jewish identity, but in their connection to God as well. Faith is critical to this week's Parsha. And in fact, Moses says to the people of Israel, remember all that God did for you. And remember that God is Gadol v'Norah, that God is great, and God is awesome. And by doing that, Moses helps to ensure that the people of Israel will remain strong as well when they enter into the land. I want to encourage all of us as we think about not only the events of this past week, but life in general, to remember that we as Jews believe that it's okay to struggle with the concept of faith, and that we as Jews believe that it's okay to question. But we also want to ensure that as we go forward in life, we remember that indeed God is Gadol v'Norah, strong and awesome, and that forms the very center of a Jewish concept of faith. Shabbat Shalom.